Well, I want to talk about your next pivot into coaching, but you're also surfacing something that may be useful for our listeners, which is what are you noticing as someone who's probably mentored a lot of people? What are you noticing about some of the shifts that you're making as a coach? As you get more experience in coaching, do you see the differences yet, or
Yeah, I think, one of the things that maybe I'll correlate it to my own life, right, and
yeah?
my career journey. I've noticed that when I felt the most disheartened or the most disconnected
Mm,
is when my values and my job's values weren't aligned, right?
mhm.
And so what I've found is that all my pivots were at that point, were
Yeah.
at that point where I found this like significant dissonance with, what was actually happening in my day-to-day life and what was important to me at the time. And that changes over time, right?
Mm,
I've had three amazing kids. They're older now, but like when they were young, it was my priorities were very different, right? And so for me, I've noticed that as I'm coaching more people or throughout my time mentoring people, it's really just been about when they feel like their values are just not being respected and not connected with the mission or the vision of the business. And so it's asking yourself consistently, do I understand what the company's vision mission is?
mm,
Am I aligned to that? Is it consistent with mine?
yeah.
And if there's this big difference between the two, you
Hmm.
really have to kind of question, am I meant to be here or am I meant to do good someplace else?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very wise and seems so simple.
And it's hard though, right? Because you're sometimes, I've been in a job where I was in a terrible position, right? And
Mm,
I really just genuinely didn't find what I was looking for in that role. But
hmm.
you kind of get stuck in it, right? And it's
Yeah,
hard to see yourself out of it until you finally do.
yeah,
And it's almost like, wow, I did never realize that I was putting myself in those kind of positions when, it takes a bit of work to get out of that.
yeah, yeah. It does. You're reminding me of my own pivot out of college publishing, and I didn't even know what I was pivoting to really.
Yeah,
I just knew, and I think it was a values disconnect. I think you're absolutely right. And I had been talking myself out of the change, for a couple
yeah,
of years. But when I felt like I had enough financial stability to find a way out, I left. And I remember,
yeah,
I think you have to be prepared to disappoint or for some people to be confused by your decision, especially
yeah,
internally, because sometimes they have a vested interest in you staying or they just
right,
don't understand how you could go
right.
and not have a firm plan. I mean, you probably had more of a plan than I did when I changed into
No,
full time.
no, I actually did. I didn't,
Okay.
Nina. It's interesting when it's funny when you mentioned that. I thought back to this time when I left after 16 years of an R&D, and it was not. I was always classified as this high potential employee,
Mm,
moving up the ranks, all that stuff. And I said, "Look, I'm just going to go over to quality." I remember so many people saying to me, "Why are you doing that? You're going to
mm,
ruin your career. What is wrong with
mm-hmm,
you? Like, you're just
mm-hmm.
going to mess everything up." And I was like, it's my career. Like I can do what I need to do with it because
Yeah.
I need to do this, right? So when I officially left the corporate world, um, I didn't know what I was going to do next. I
Yeah.
really didn't.